Artists are product of their times. To use the common phrase, ahead of their time, really indicates the reluctance of the rest of us to embrace change. Societal and political events become history. Artists both influence and are influenced by these events. Remember that we are trying to see if our understanding of art can be enhanced if we understand the interaction between form, theme, and context. Context is the third piece of the puzzle. What separates relevant and irrelevant events and ideas? What makes some themes more worthy of the term big idea than others? Perhaps finding how the context of an artwork plays a part in its creation will help us answer that question. Here again we see the death of Socrates by David. The end of the 18th century was a tumultuous time for France. Spurred on by the ideals of the Enlightenment, equality, citizenship, and unalienable rights, the people of France transformed their society from a monarchy to a republic. Although the political atmosphere surrounding the revolution was complex, the official revolution began in 1789 and the republic was proclaimed in 1792. Things got ugly and even more complicated until Napoleon came to power in 1799, declared himself emperor, which ended the republican phase of the revolution. David was embroiled in a controversy, spent some time in jail, but eventually emerged to become the court painter for Napoleon. This painting was part of the story. We need to think about the time when this painting was made to realize how radical it was. Throughout the 19th century and into the 20th century, factors such as the Industrial Revolution, new scientific discoveries, and political upheavals around the world made people question the legitimacy of old ideas. Artists in particular wanted to create something new and modern to go along with the changing times. Abstraction in art was beginning to develop. A form of art, labeled by critics Cubism, was having a wide influence in Europe. This painting takes the abstract form to an extreme, and it happened only 10 years from when Cubism first emerged on the art scene. As part of the convention of finding new art forms in the 20th century, some artists had begun using their own bodies in their art. Burton takes this idea to an extreme by placing his body under dangerous physical and psychological stress. The U.S. at the time was also in a state of stress. The 60s had been a decade of much social upheaval in the U.S., and this carried over into the 70s. In 1973, the Vietnam War was still underway. Questions and protests put a wedge between an older generation that had experienced what they saw as moral wars against evil forces in Europe and Korea, and a younger generation of Americans who saw the Vietnam War as an imperialist move by the U.S. The Watergate scandal, which led to the resignation of President Richard Nixon, also made people cynical about U.S. governmental institutions. There was an oil crisis in America, where for the first time in recent memory, Americans were faced with not controlling their own economic destinies. Burton's work addressed issues of living in these times. So we've explored form, theme, and context as separate entities, but all these attributes interact simultaneously. By analyzing this interaction between form, theme, and context, perhaps the many layers of meaning in an artwork will be revealed, and we can arrive at a deeper understanding of the artwork. Then possibly our search for meaning will bring us a more profound awareness of why art plays such an important role in understanding what it means to be human.